the most miserable man on the internet, our very own Greg Kelly, who has his own Trump-like charges in his past that magically disappeared and probably had nothing to do with the fact that his father was the police commissioner in New York City, the city where the alleged sexual assault occurred. I'm certain it's never mind. I'm good. These fuckers are just going to get grosser by the second. Um, this is corruption. We can't let it happen. That's what he said. And this is because Hunter's traveling with him, I guess, or is that the idea? Or was? Let's see.
Well, we can always use.
Oh, okay. So he's talking about the IRS whistleblower. So there's somebody in the IRS thinks that they were slow walking the Hunter Biden stuff. Yes, that's what it is. IRS whistleblower claims Hunter Biden probe mishandled, and this person who is very pro-Trump is claiming that they're not doing it fast enough, and the reason is because they were hoping it would, there are strategic times when you want to do it, and they're worried that it'll be slow walked and then it will come out, and then because it's not really a big deal, he'll pay the fine or whatever the fuck, and that'll be that. And their concern is that they need it to be an October surprise. They were mad that it didn't all come out and become a thing or go through the courts or whatever, that they didn't file some sort of charges if there are charges to be made. And again, the allegation that there's actually a crime going on or what have you is not even alleged at this point, except by dickheads like this, not certainly in court documents. But the idea is that they're looking into whether he paid enough taxes on his foreign holdings, whatever. And if he didn't, he should pay a fine and he should pay the money. Apparently, Trump shouldn't be held to that standard, but Hunter Biden should.
There's another hero, and it just might be this guy. And
this guy or gal or person or whatever. Could be this invisible person. We don't know. They're a total hero. They're taking one for the team by saying that they wish Hunter Biden would be accused of something, and he isn't.
Anonymous whistleblower.
Oh, yes. The heroic needs of an anonymous whistleblower. Because what will happen to them? What the fuck does this asshole think will happen to them if they come out and say openly, I work at the IRS, this is me, and I think they're slow walking it? Other than just like lose their job because they're looking behind the scenes into cases they're not on or what have you, and that's a no-no, and how do you know they haven't done that a bunch, and or that they're not manipulating files behind the scene because they can't be trusted anywhere near something for partisan reasons? That might be the reason.
Who just might have the goods on Hunter Biden.
Well, man, I've been any day now. Love will set me free. Yeah, I'm whew. It's been, how long's it been? It's been, what are we, 3 fucking years of this?
So protected by Congress, by the Biden administration, by the media. Well, we found out something interesting. This whistleblower doesn't like what he's seeing. He's a
No, he doesn't like it. Not enough to tell people who he is, but okay.
Senior criminal investigator at the Internal Revenue Service, the IRS.
Yes, one of the big heroes of the right. He apparently was hired along with 87,000 other agents to go after Hunter Biden solely, and for some reason Marjorie Taylor Greene single-handedly got rid of the funding.
And Hunter has been under federal investigation for quite some time, and this
but he's
whistleblower, he wants protection because he's alleging that the whole damn
yes, he wants to be put in the witness relocation program so that they can give him a fake identity so he can live in Delaware near the lake.
thing has been covered up. Wall Street Journal, thank you very much. Hunter Biden probe is being mishandled according.
Ooh, ouch, mishandled. Oh no, not mishandled. Dear God, you mean mishandled like, I don't know, a copy of a fake hard drive called laptop that Rudy Giuliani purchased overseas and brought back over, full of a mix of real and fake and deep faked documents and pictures and images that they spliced together that take up more space on that hard drive than could have existed on the laptop model that was allegedly dropped off at the Delaware laptop repair shop, and then it was passed around and only given out printed versions of stuff, not allowing the press to look at the metadata on it until after the fact. And when it finally got into the hands of the Washington Post and they looked at it, their forensics experts finally said something like, it's a forensic nightmare. You mean that kind of mishandled? Because I will say one thing, that if the Hunter Biden laptop is full of crime, filled to the brim with the fruits of crime, Hunter Biden will skate. He will never be charged. You know why? Because they so mishandled the chain of evidence on that hard drive, and they cannot answer to the original source material at fucking all, that anybody who even finds something like, oh, his business dealings with this, linked to this, or whatever, like a first-year law student could get the whole fucking thing thrown out because of Fruit of the Poison Tree. And anybody who doesn't know that is Rudy Giuliani.
To the whistleblower, it reads as follows.
Odds are, oh boy, Greg's going to read. Everybody gather around.
The supervisor has details that show preferential treatment and politics improperly infecting decisions and protocols that would normally be followed by career law enforcement professionals in similar circumstances if the subject were not politically connected. And
yeah, that happens all the time for a lot of reasons, because sometimes the probe can be started by someone that has a grudge. So they take extra care to make sure it's not political. That's one of the reasons why that happens. Do I know which way it is? No. And what are the details? That's fine. It's the fourth word that I give a shit about. What details would that be? Go for it. That seems like the easiest part. Okay, Elizabeth in our chat room says MTG is a true American, loves out country and people. She's smart and a kind soul, as in the fish or the bottom of a shoe. I love what she's about, which of course is siding with people who leak classified documents onto the internet for no particular reason. And of course, I guess, shooting electric cars. And she stands for freedom. No, she doesn't, because she's against a woman's right to choose. And that's the tough part about democracy. Sorry. Okay, here we go.
Boy, is Hunter Biden politically connected or what?
Or what? Details, please.
Connected.
I'm here for the details, Greg. You got details, man. They promise details. You promise details. Give me the details.
And protect.
A picture of them at a ball game is not going to do it. I know they're sitting in the front. That's because Barack Obama was fucking president at the time.
Protected by just about everybody. Look, I know.
Protected by just about everybody. Except the Kremlin, which I think is the part that, where Trump's got them beat, I suppose.
Oh, it wasn't the most amazing thing you've ever read, but it's a little bit of a ray of hope, right? A little bit of justice.
Yeah, it's a little bit. I mean, it's not great, but they say they have details, and I'll take them at their word.
Huh? I mean, you know what they did to Donald Trump. Anybody who came out against Donald Trump, it was the most sensational story in the world, and they got the royal treatment, these whistleblowers, these whatever they call themselves.
Yeah, see those people appearing in public, showing their faces, speaking under oath, might be why they got the news coverage that they did. You see? I mean, obviously, none of these folks have anything on a graphic you made that says whistleblower, but yeah, testify under oath. I'm for it. Where's the details? Fucking bring it.
These people were celebrated, and to this day, they are still profiting. Vindman.
Profiting?
You know, the guy, him, right? The chubby.
Yeah, see this stuff? Yeah, I can see that. Go ahead. Shit on him, Greg.
Soldier. Vindman, even his wife got a podcast. No kidding, a podcast, and she shows up on MSNBC, all because her husband came out against Trump.
Yeah, all because her husband had integrity and she backed him, and she's a woman with her own point of view. Things that poor little Greg Kelly can't even process.
Well, our next guest has been traveling across the country to several.
Hold on. No, I'm not going to get bounced because of a fucking, copyright strike, Greg. This is not one of the details I know she has a show. Give me the details from that the whistleblower says proves that they slowed for political reasons of thingy thing. Let's do it.
Suburban women problem.
There's a problem here, and it's called the swamp. Are you crazy? The wife of Vindman is now a talking head. All right, now what's going to happen to...
What, swamp? What the fuck are you talking about? Neither one of them work in D.C.
our
Oh, I'm not doing a green blouse on her. She doesn't have it coming, but I will say it's a mistake. Don't do it.
whistleblower? I just hope
Yeah, way better. I trust this person a lot more than the people we saw.
he doesn't get prosecuted, okay? I hope he doesn't get prosecuted.
How do you know? Greg, what if on top of being an anti-Hunter Biden whistleblower, he happens to be, I don't know, like one of the pedos that worked on the Trump campaign? I'm just spitballing. You want him to be safe from those prosecutions? I'm just fucking around. Who cares?
He's not getting a podcast. He's not getting a book deal. But maybe...
Why not? You don't think he, like, Truth Social or 45 books wouldn't give him a fucking book deal?
maybe we'll all get justice. And when it
All of us will get justice against the huge tax burden that Hunter Biden may or may not have owed. Meanwhile, tell me again why Donald Trump dodging taxes it shows his business acumen.
comes to taxes, this guy's at the IRS.
Yeah, the place you want to defund or get rid of entirely.
Hunter's on thin ice, and so it potentially is Joe. You know about this famous, well, should be famous text message? Hunter Biden complaining to his family.
Oh my God, this is fucking 3 years old. There's 416 gigabytes of shit on that hard drive, and we're seeing the same 3 text messages? Motherfucker. Honest to God, they've released the entire content. Go through the fucking thing. Why is it, if his dad is the master criminal that you say he is, and Hunter Biden is obviously the bag man for the whole fucking family, why isn't there anything else than this kind of like, I guess I have to pay the bills around here, fuck? Like a petulant text about paying for his niece's, because he's the richest family member, paying for his niece's schooling or some shit. At a moment of weakness, by the way. Who gives a shit?
I hope you...
Oh my God, please, please, please. Can we see the text messages between Greg Kelly and his fucking dad? Circa, I don't know, let's go from 2002 to 2006. Anywhere in that area. Can you fucking imagine the whiny, bitchy, little man syndrome bullshit that would be stacked for everyone to see both directions?
all can do what I did and pay for everything for this entire family for 30 years? What an interesting statement. But don't worry, unlike Pop, I won't make you give me half your salary.
Right. That was when he was an addict and his family was afraid that he would lose all of his money. So they sequestered it. That's why he got it back later. Good Lord.
More on Joe Biden's income in a moment. Did he declare all this stuff that Hunter gave him? So it's very rich, though. The IRS, Hunter Biden is picking on the IRS. Yes, Hunter is sending letters to the IRS demanding that his political opponents be investigated. Yes, letters have gone to the DOJ. I talked about this a couple of days ago when we first...
Yes, it's super exciting. We're all very excited.
found out the IRS and the Attorney General of Delaware. And regarding the IRS, yeah, his lawyer said, you got to start an investigation. We represent Hunter Biden, son of the president, and we request the Internal Revenue Service review the tax-exempt status of Marco Polo USA, whose sole member is Garrett Ziegler, a very prominent anti-Biden personality / investigator / genius.
Totally a genius. Absolutely a genius. In his own mind. Good Lord.
Very good with research.
Very good with research. Not as good as the IRS whistleblower that they have, which with the details, which we've seen. Have we at this point? What have we seen so far in this story that entitled if I may, this is corruption. We can't let it happen, which sounds like he's cribbing lines from Don Jr. What have we actually seen so far? We've seen Vindman's wife being interviewed by Mika Brzezinski on Morning Joe. We've seen a Time magazine cover of the people who came out and testified under oath about Donald Trump. We've seen Hunter Biden's proactive, offensive legal maneuvers against people who are trying to go after him. And we've seen a picture that says whistleblower, of an outline of a head that says whistleblower next to it, where a chunk of an article that's allegedly torn out of a paper. I love the torn edges thing. It's so old school. Where there were details that were coming, and we are 3 minutes and 40 seconds into this shit, and we don't have a single one.
The president's son is asking the IRS to look into that. That's a problem.
Why? Anyone can do it.
And on this tax issue, we saw Joe Biden's taxes for 2022. His income, $579,514. The bulk of that is the presidential salary, $400,000. Can Joe get by on this? By the way, Trump took $1. Remember that?
No, he didn't.
Joe,
that's a lie. Trump did not give away his salary. On 2 instances, he had a secondary check cut, and then he tried to write it off on his taxes.
Minor things. We all know about the Corvette, the watches, the beach house, all that stuff. The answer is probably not, but he's got to play it safe because everyone should be scrutinizing this stuff.
Yeah, he doesn't have giant mortgages on those properties, dummy. You can look at his financial disclosures. They bought it with book money. And Simon & Schuster gave them the money from the book. Like, it's not a big fucking mystery. Simon & Schuster isn't run out of Moscow, dum-dum.
But they weren't in 2017. What happened in 2017? Well, he left the vice presidency, and then it was a bonanza as far as money goes. $11 million. Can't quite figure out how he got all that money.
Really? You could... I know why. There's a reason why. There's a reason why you can't figure it out. Is because he didn't look at the actual tax form, which is available to the public. I mean, it's Greg Kelly. He's on a show called Newsmax. Why the fuck would he bother?
That is the same year that we know Hunter got money from China and split it up between Haley and his uncle, and I don't know. This is...
Yes, and comparatively, chump change. So why the fuck would Biden bother?
There's a lot of money. Didn't all...
And by the way, that was the payment of a retainer for a business that didn't happen. We're going to do this. You on board? Yes, I'm on board. You on board? Yes, I'm on board. Okay, contract says we're on board. If it happens, we all invest this amount, and if it continues and it makes a profit, we get back this amount. If it doesn't happen, we get retainer fees of $1 million of the $3 million that's going to be allotted. Didn't happen. Dude got paid $3 million, and he went, sorry for bothering.
From that silly memoir.
It's fucking all the time in business. All the fucking time.
Or he wrote, I can guarantee you that. So where...
No, you can't. Greg, you can't guarantee us all that you're wearing pants.
Is Joe going to get his money? And Hunter...
Why are you looking down? Fuck's sake, man. Get a teleprompter and 2 monitors so that you can at least look at the fucking story.
Owes him half of his income, and there's a lot of income. You know, Hunter Biden is an artist these days. Yes, it's a total joke, of course. But guess how much he's getting for some of these junky paintings? $500,000.
Yeah, this is from fucking 2 years ago.
Shouldn't forget this, folks. I know we all kind of laughed at it, but
some of them.
This is big business, and it continues, and this is a way to get to the president. This is corruption.
Do you have any idea how many George W. Bushes go for? His fucking paint-by-numbers dog paintings?
You can't let this happen. You can't have the son of the president selling this junk art, and it is junk art.
Actually, I don't know how much of his stuff I've seen. I find it surprising. This is not bad.
What else? Nothing good. This is...
It's got a kind of Beatles-esque forest situation with the multicolored trees and like. I like the patterning on that one. I think the the kind of geometric attempt here. It's interesting that in this particular one, is this this looks photoshopped or something to me because why is it missing this part of it on the canvas? They didn't stretch the canvas right? That's weird. For a geometric one? The fuck?
This is trash. This is junk, okay? I mean,
I may not know art, but I know what Greg Kelly thinks is trash. Yeah, it's not bad actually, CSL. Like I was, because I don't pay attention because I don't give a shit. I'm not in the art world. But I will say that if I was in a gallery and they had these on the wall and people were going ooh la la, I'd be like, oh, yeah, it seems nice. I don't know.
I mean, it's fine if you.
Meanwhile, hold on. Meanwhile, you want to talk about selling art in the world? Mm. Oh, hold on one second. I gotta jump this back. Meanwhile, this is what Trump is making. Trump is selling NFTs that look like this. Look at this shit. Surfing on fucking money. Like cooking with barbecuing with a fucking dog with his signature on the front of it. The shit. Collect Trump cards. They're amazing.
Hello again. This is your favorite president, Donald Trump, with some news you are going to really love. A few months ago, we almost broke the internet when I announced my Trump digital trading cards. These beautiful Trump cards made headlines.
These beautiful Trump cards, I had to do this 45 times, and they cut the words together and took all the air out of between them so that it's even mildly exciting.
Lines all over the world because of the speed at which they sold. Original cards sold out so fast, everybody is asking me to do another series. Well, I've got some fantastic news for you. My Trump digital trading cards are back with a
Look at this shit, holding the fucking Liberty
bang.
Bell.
Series 2, the new collection, features incredible artwork of me as a rock star and also
as a rock star.
as a monster trucker.
Also as a monster truck. All right, this is getting very, very close to the guy who does the impersonation of him is on SNL is fucking dead on. Rockstar and here's as a monster trucker. Jesus.
People love to collect baseball cards, but why settle for that when you can collect the greatest trading card in history, my Trump digital trading cards? We didn't rate
him as a fucking fireman. Jesus Christ. After all the shit that these assholes, say women can't pass the physical fitness test to be a fireman, so we shouldn't allow them. You think this asshole could? Not only could he not carry one of his fellow fire persons out of a fire or up a flight of stairs or 60 feet unsupported or whatever, he wouldn't. He just bugged the fuck out.
The price despite the incredible fast.
Oh my God, what the shit is this? Played guitar on top of a motorcycle, wearing Liberace sunglasses on Route 45, keeping right at the mood in the middle of the thing. What the shit?
Out last time. It's so easy to buy. Just need an email address.
It's me golfing, but healthy. Something you'll never see in real life. That's what makes these valuable. Something that's never existed. Me looking healthy, playing golf. There's never a picture of this, so we had to make our own.
And your credit card or crypto. If you want
or crypto, if you want these guys
own a piece of history, go to Collect Trump.
Fucking what a douchebag. But fucking, and look at all these too. Like, him as fucking George Washington. Like, god damn, this is. I got a Zoom call with Trump and an NFT for free. This article on what? Is this video real or a deep fake? If it's real, does Trump look like?
Hello, everyone. This is Donald Trump. Hopefully your favorite president of all time, better than Lincoln, better than Washington, with an important announcement to make. I'm doing my first official Donald J. Trump NFT collection.
We did these things when this came out. That was so dumb. People thought it was fake. Oh my God, what a dickhead! All right, so sorry, where am I? Greg, hold on. Here we go. Greg Kelly hating. So this is shit to Greg Kelly. This is amazing. This stuff. That. Trump made millions of dollars selling these fucking things to God knows who for crypto.
Right here and right now.
Uh-huh. These are some trees I made.
Got a hobby. This is how the New York Times put it. This was actually a slam. Hunter's paintings have the generic smoothness of the art you might see in a posh hotel room. Now, to an average person, that sounds okay, they must be decent. But in the art world, calling the art hotel art is about the worst thing you can possibly say.
Good Lord.
Yeah. And the Biden administration.
Also, still not a detail. Give me one buyer that they found out has paid money and that they paid money to Hunter and it changed legislation in the White House right now. A single person, a single issue, anywhere. A group of Guatemalan human smugglers bought one of his paintings and said, you got to keep the border open for 3 days more. Like, what?
Really, at one point, tried to pull this off with a straight face by invoking the gallerist. All questions must be handled by somebody called a gallerist.
I'd refer you to the gallerist for questions about the event. We've spoken to the specifics, what the gallerist has agreed to, and what recommendations were made. I've done that several times. I point you to the gallerist on...
yeah, the person who's running the gallery, who gives a shit?
Specifics of the restrictions that were put in place. We were very transparent about what recommendations were made to the gallerist, and I would again point you to them or the many times I've spoken about that from here.
Good old lunch pail working class Joe Biden from Scranton. His administration referring people to the gallerist. Okay.
The fuck? This guy would scoop Trump's shit into his shirt pocket and use it as a badge to get into Mar-a-Lago. If it, like, I have Trump turds. They let me in, right? I'm allowed. I've been collecting them for years. A little foxing around the edges, but it isn't weird that Hunter Biden is making art that they're selling in a gallery, and because he's the son of a president and he's controversial, that there might be people who want to buy it for large sums because people are like, holy shit, that's one of Hunter Biden's? Get the fuck out of here. How much you pay for that? I'm like, I can't tell you. But holy shit, right? That's crazy. Meanwhile, Harlan Crow has a fucking copy of Mein Kampf signed by Hitler, and this dude's like, what? This is an attack on Clarence Thomas.
Okay. All right, got to talk about Eric Swalwell for a moment.
Why? Does Eric Swalwell know the details that the whistleblower was talking about in this corruption thing? Right.
Oh, boy, yeah. Can you believe he still shows up for work after...
Yes. He was reelected, dum-dum.
Well, the Fang stuff.
What's the Fang stuff, fucko? What is it? He had a woman who was trying to bundle funds because she can't donate directly. She was on a campus, and she was trying to cozy up, and the FBI came to him and said, we think she's a spy. As a matter of fact, we know she is, and they cut off ties with her, and she moved back to China and hasn't been seen since. Go on.
Anyway, he does, and he tries to lecture Republicans about supporting law enforcement, anti-Semitism. He really is a shameless character.
Shameless character. Motherfucker, he's holding up defund the FBI stuff from Marjorie Taylor Greene that she posted within days of her saying that we should send the FBI after Ali Alexander, a person she was happy, and Nick Fuentes, people she was happy to take pictures with and hang around with and text with around January 6th. But now all of a sudden they're the fucking bad guy?
Watch.
I mean, they're awful, don't get me wrong. But like, she's suddenly pristine compared to them?
But this tweet was kept up for months after Kanye West said that he was going to declare DEFCON 3 on the Jews. Mr. Secretary, do you believe that all of us have a responsibility to elevate our rhetoric and to denounce anti-Semitism and anti-police rhetoric in this country so that Jewish Americans and police officers can be safer?
All right, to portray himself as some sort of pro-Jewish crusader, I'm sorry. And we all deplore anti-Semitism, of course.
Apparently not, because they left the fucking tweet up. As far as I know, it's still up, isn't it?
But Kanye West, anybody who ever saw a Kanye West concert or listened to a Kanye West musical or...
No. Listened to a Kanye West musical. Okay. All right. Fuck off, dum-dum. Stay in your genre. Anyways, the issue wasn't about Kanye West's fucking music even at this point. You're thinking of R. Kelly. The question was with the fact that he said this shit about the Jews within a few days of having dinner with Trump and Nick Fuentes. And the GOP ran to support him. And then when his true beliefs came out, they stood by him. Good Lord.
I didn't do any of those things, by the way. But are they supposed to renounce themselves?
I did. Really? You haven't been to a Kanye show? That shocks me, Greg. Maybe he just plays places where the bus doesn't run.
And renounce all that stuff. It's ludicrous. It's a waste of time. And guess who called him out on it in spectacular fashion?
Now I recognize the gentlelady from Georgia, Miss
The ironically named
Green.
That was quite entertaining from someone that had a sexual relationship with a Chinese spy, and everyone knows it. But
I move to take her words down. Completely inappropriate.
Yeah, stand by just a second.
Yeah. She's the GOP wants to kick her off the fucking committee. And by the way, no, everyone doesn't know it. That is an online accusation. I've been looking. Trust me. I keep trying to find the place where they genuinely alleged a sexual relationship between the two of them in any story anywhere. Even in the right wing and like real media. And I can't find it. Please, you guys, if you guys find something that even talks about this shit, I would love to read it. Because I've been scouring. It's all just online hashtag horseshit.
Wow. It's true, by the way.
No, it
a
isn't.
statement of fact. He hooked up with Fang Fang, a Chinese spy.
No. He didn't hook up with her. She was a bundler for the campaign when he was on the city council and then when he was running for mayor. And she brought this stuff. She was part of she was getting Chinese Americans to donate to his campaign. That's how they were trying to get close to him.
Now, I don't think Eric Swalwell actually knew it. I'm not accusing him of espionage, but potentially he compromised national security. Who knows what she was doing when Swalwell was asleep? They try to shame her. You have to.
First, again, 3 pictures in public of somebody like this is not indicative. If you even take some of the pictures that Trump has taken with some fucking awful people at events where he's like, hey, I don't take that as automatic evidence that he was engaged in some sort of, whatever crooked scheme they've been busted for. The sitting around a dinner table, hanging out, partying together stuff or golfing on the regular, that's where it gets a little bit hinky. But this kind of shit, what are you talking about?
Take that back. Oh, how can you say that? Oh, you can't say that, can you? You can't speak the truth, can you?
The chair recognizes the gentlelady from Georgia.
We're just playing it again.
And asks
favor of Anthony
for Marjorie retract those words.
No, I will not.
Good for Marjorie Taylor Greene. Remember, Swalwell just said that.
Yeah, they struck it from the record. It doesn't matter. It's left in there that she, she said something that was removed and she would not retract the statement.
Republicans are in favor of anti-Semitism, don't support law enforcement, all these silly games. Shame on him and
silly games. Show me the used condom, fuckhead. Show me the private eye picture of them leaving a motel. I'm for it. Let's see. Let me see the evidence that they actually had sex. Or shut the fuck up about instantly sexualizing young Asian women because that's your freak point.
Good for Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Fuck her.
All right. You know we lost in Afghanistan.
No, we didn't.
We lost a
We left.
war in Afghanistan, and
We left.
still
We weren't at war in Afghanistan. Not for the last 10 fucking years.
living with the ramifications. They are global. The world is a far more dangerous place. I said this earlier.
So we should have stayed.
This week, people should have lost their jobs, but did not, like the Secretary of Defense, like the National Security Advisor, all these guys, they are still on the job. Well,
Because Joe Biden ran on getting us out of Afghanistan and he followed through. He even extended the timetable 3 months, but we got out. He sent in 6,000 troops to help evacuate Americans and other people supporting us out of there when the Trump administration had set a deadline for, May 31st, and had done none of the work to start the process of getting near that, especially, taking care of the people the Afghans and their families who had helped us the entire time we were there, the ones whose lives would be in danger. They did none of that shit.
at least some parts of government still function. Now, there is an inspector general that has been looking into our defeat in Afghanistan, the disastrous pullout.
Oh my God, the swamp, the bureaucracy, an inspector general. You mean an unelected individual in the government that seems to, you mean like Vindman was an inspector general? You mean the inspector generals that are everywhere on almost every project because of, wait, who implemented inspector generals? Should we bring it up to him? He likes Georgia, so he'll probably like this. Hold on. Council of the Inspectors General on Integrity and Efficiency. The IG Act of 1978 is enacted by President Jimmy Carter, who signed the act and described the new statutory IGs as perhaps the most important new tools to fight against fraud. President Carter charges the IGs to always remember that their ultimate responsibility is not to any individual, but to the public interest. Jimmy Carter gave us inspectors general.
And he's frustrated. He released a devastating report, and he's saying the Biden administration did not cooperate.
Unfortunately, as I sit here today, I cannot assure this committee or the American taxpayer we are not currently funding the Taliban.
We are
Okay.
currently funding the Taliban.
Why? Because they're stealing food aid?
Taliban! Remember, the Taliban are running Afghanistan.
Oh, yeah, the people that Trump made a deal with and got the leader, well, the third guy in charge, actually, Abdul, got him out of a Pakistani jail and freed 5,000 Taliban fighters.
Are in charge, just like they were before September 11, 2001. Just like they were then. And, oh, by the way, for 6 weeks after September 11th, because George W. Bush was really slow in reacting.
He waited a whole 6 weeks before going to war in Afghanistan. He couldn't have done it that afternoon. Honestly, don't we have bombs planted there already he could just trigger? Fuck off.
More from the IG.
The lack of cooperation by state, and I'm not talking about the IGs, I'm talking about the Department of State and to a lesser extent USAID, is unprecedented in the nearly 12 years that I have been the SIGAR.
Wait a minute, USAID? So he's talking about, is he talking about sanction money? This is an interesting slice.
And I must add, in the 2 decades that I did congressional oversight, both in the Senate and the House, due to this refusal to fully cooperate, a significant portion of SIGAR's work, including the 5 reports we did for this committee, have been hindered and delayed.
Well, that's bureaucratic talk for The Biden administration screwed us.
Hey, hold on one second. I'm way over. I recognize this. Work with me for a second. Hold on. Let's see. C-SPAN subcode. Whoops. Yeah, here you go. Shaw and realize Sopco's opening testament, Comer closing statement ranking.
When you feel depressed, anxious, or just
ticklish, who can say? Who can say?
For continued U.S. programming in Afghanistan. Thank you for your time. I look forward to
begin with the chairman of the National Security Subcommittee, Mr. Grofman.
Thank you. I'm going to go a little bit.
Hold on.
Assistance since the Taliban came to power and the severe curtailment of the rights of women and girls. Further, the Afghan Special Immigrant Visa Program, for which the Department of State is primarily responsible, still has more than 152,000 SIV applicants in Afghanistan undergoing processing as of last month. This is why it is Afghanistan nearly.
Let's see if we can find that dude.
Each of us recognizes that our work has long-lasting potential.
Let's work together to find ways
to please begin his opening.
Trump moved IDOIGs of withdrawal-related.
Today, I can share that
we variety of military equipment and property. DOD and his lead IG and his lead IG and his lead IG
oversight that is expected. Oversight that is expected.
Get out of here.
And compounded the Afghan military's total dependence on U.S. combat and contracted.
Hold on, here we go.
With civilian officials.
So this is his piece.
For other colleagues here, SIGAR has not been tasked with, nor do we have the jurisdiction to, look at the question of the administration's withdrawal. However, just days after that withdrawal occurred, this committee, in a bipartisan fashion, asked us and directed us to examine the factors that led up to the Afghan collapse and the Afghan withdrawal. Your request, I believe, is extremely critical to today's hearing and your ongoing oversight work, because it provides the context for how the Trump and Biden administration's policy decisions were either effected or carried out. SIGAR's reports, and these are the two reports which we have prepared for this committee, are based upon our over 12 years of work in Afghanistan, over 700 audits or reports we prepared, and includes dozens of lessons.
So understand that how little Greg Kelly has just showed us of what this dude's talking about. And know that the context of what he was talking about is over 12 years of U.S. funding, support through a various group of agencies and through the DOD and through our military actions in there. It's not just about the withdrawal.
Lessons learned reports on particular issues in Afghanistan. They are also based on over 800 interviews of the purpose for what's going into Afghanistan was the result of many decisions made over the course of 4 presidential administrations.
We know this.
We found that the 2020 Doha Agreement and the subsequent decision to go through with the withdrawal in 2021 merely exacerbated long-existing problems. Among them, these policy decisions dramatically degraded the morale of the Afghan security forces and
Yes. Apparently, the Afghan security forces were very upset that we were leaving. So we should have stayed forever.
Compounded the Afghan military's total dependence on U.S. combat and contractor support, which left the Afghan military unable to sustain operations. The Afghan government's own self-denial about the U.S. intent to depart, the exclusion of the Afghan government.
Yes. It was weird that the Afghan government didn't think we were really leaving because 3 administrations had all said we were leaving and didn't.
Government from the U.S. negotiations with the Taliban, Again, systemic corruption. And the
in the Afghan
insular Afghan government decision-making were additional factors that contributed to the disaster.
You think?
But remember this. Once each administration decided to withdraw our troops and contractors, it was not a question of if. It was rather a question of when the Afghan government was going to collapse.
Right. Because the recognition was that we were holding it up artificially. So, again, the solution was never going to be stay forever. Unless you're Trump, I guess.
Now, I want to change the subject because there are still major problems with our assistance in Afghanistan that this committee should be alerted to.
Okay, so this guy, bless his heart, by the way, I feel for this dude. I think he was very involved in looking at where aid was going, how they were trying to establish the government, whether the government would keep, its position. And I'm sure he cares about like women and girls being able to go to school and the, the rights of free people and the like. So he's probably angry on those points. But let's be abundantly clear. This is not a guy who thinks that we left poorly, but that we should never have left at all.
The United States has appropriated $2 billion for Afghanistan assistance since the withdrawal.
Since the withdrawal, $2 billion.
And a further $3.5 billion may be available through this newly created Switzerland-based Afghan fund. While I agree, and we all agree, Afghanistan faces a dire humanitarian and economic situation, it is critical that our assistance not be diverted by the Taliban.
Okay, this is what it is. All right, let's go back to what Greg Kelly was showing us. This is clear. That's the context. Whoops, fuck that dude. Hold on. Let's be clear. What was Greg just showing us? This is fucking slippery as shit, Greg.
Committee work, including the 5 reports we did for this committee, have been hindered and delayed.
Well, that's bureaucratic talk for the Biden administration screwed up.
Hold on.
Years that I have been the cigar. I must add, in the 2 decades that I did congressional oversight, both in the Senate and the House, due to this refusal to fully cooperate, a significant portion of CIGAR's work, including the 5 reports we did for this committee, have been hindered and delayed.
Well, that's bureaucratic talk for the Biden administration screwed us. The Biden administration does not want the truth known.
No, this dude thinks that the $5.5 billion that we are directly or indirectly going to support humanitarian aid in Afghanistan, he does not trust that he doesn't believe there are guarantees that the Taliban isn't siphoning that money off. And he wants more guarantees about that. That's not the same thing as like they're hiding the details of the fucking withdrawal. It's a completely opposite issue. This guy wants to audit where the money is going in, for the most part, an inauditable situation. Good Lord.
And let's go through some of the tidbits, shall we? The United States had no business trying to train the Afghan military. That was a disaster that went on.
Jesus Christ. And this is Biden's fault. Biden was the one who told Obama, the generals are going to say, just give me 6, 8, 12 more months and we'll win this. It'll be great. And he's like, they're going to say this and they're going to keep saying it. And I'm telling you to get the fuck out. And Obama trusted them and listened to Joe, but basically he was the only voice saying that this is not going to be something you're able to build. And he stuck with it because, for the same reason I think a lot of good people did, because they thought they could save women and girls and stabilize the government, and that helped everybody to some degree. And since we weren't really losing soldiers in battle at that point, we could get around and we start slowly moving people out and moving to a diplomatic zone, and it would be, like the green zone in Iraq or something over time. But it wasn't going to be. And Biden knew this, and he said it all the way up to the end. He's like, that's why we removed so much fucking gear in the last year of the Obama administration. Because so effectively, the thought was that Hillary Clinton would continue the withdrawal and that they would be ready to fucking go.
For almost 20 years, the Taliban is using millions of weapons that we left behind. That's on Joe.
That's on Joe. Mm-hmm.
And the same thing can happen in Ukraine. We have...
What? The fuck is that? What? How, where do we take this fucking left turn? No, it can't. You know why? Because the Ukrainians aren't jihadis, for one.
So many weapons.
Women and girls are allowed to go to school in Ukraine already, you dumb son of a bitch.
Over there, not all of them are accounted for. Easily could fall into the hands of the...
Yes, we need... You know what we need? Greg, you're right. You know what? During an open war, I think we should have, like, Apple AirTags on every weapon that we can all look at them on an app on our phone to know precisely where all the guns and artillery and tanks are at any given time. So we know that American money is well spent as our shit gets obliterated from the fucking sky because you can track it. I want to audit every dime that is being spent in Ukraine, and I want to know exactly where all of our stuff is so I can make a fucking phone call and somebody can strafe bomb it from the air. God damn it.
Terrorists like the man pads. These things are a very deadly terrorist tool, very easy to use to shoot down commercial airliners. So much of this stuff is just rolling around Ukraine and
rolling around Ukraine where there are no commercial flights flying over that area for a good reason, I think.
By the way.
And by the way, no, fuck you, by the way. How the fuck are the Ukrainians the Taliban all the fucking sudden?
The Russians went into Ukraine, we believe, because of our defeat in Afghanistan. And Putin would not have invaded if...
I don't care what you believe. That's not true. He's running out of time. And he couldn't wait for Trump to get reelected if he was going to. Wasn't going to happen. Time to go.
Trump were president. 62%.
I don't care what the fuck 62% of people believe. 62% of... There's... Hold on. Let me solve this for you. I know I'm going long tonight, but since yesterday, okay. Let's see. Stupid. Majority. Try to do this for a second. Hold on. Whoops. Give me 1 second. I think this is on Funny or Die. Give me 1 second. We'll go by the numbers. 18% of Americans believe that Obama is a Muslim. Let's see. A huge number of Americans believe the moon landing was staged. A Gallup poll says that 3% had no opinion, but 18% believe that the Earth was the center of the universe. 1 in 3 Americans believe in ghosts. That's 30%. Dinosaurs and humans live together. A third of Texans believe this. 51% of Americans believe in creationism. Environmentalists intentionally caused oil spills. The existence of aliens. 80% of Americans believe the country's keeping something under wraps about Roswell. And that Fox News is the most trusted. 50% of Americans trust Fox News. Oh, it's gone already. So old news stories. That's what happens when I go too deep, too quick, I think. All right, back to here.
Of Americans agree with that. It's amazing.
It's amazing. It's amazing. It's almost as if half of those idiots watch my show and half of those idiots watch Fox News. And between the two of us, we've deluded everyone.
The president, what he does, his decisions, there are huge ramifications. It's obvious, but man, what a reminder, huh? Things happen and history has changed. A man dies in Minnesota, George Floyd, and we are still...
Oh, shit. You want to talk about what something 62% of Americans believe, Greg? You're about to step in it.
With the overreaction to this.
The overreaction to this
individual's death. Yeah, I don't like what the cops did. I also don't like that the manual of the Minneapolis Police Department said you could do it for some crazy reason, but it did. I think that...
Yeah, I just wish we'd have never heard about this, and I wish that they'd never had to do anything about it because they were threatened or something. I don't know. It's just... Anyways... Can we go back to those pictures of Trump riding a horse and playing guitar?
The overreaction actually led to this cop getting hit in the head in Harlem all these years later.
That's YouTube blocking
right?
shit out.
The resentment of law enforcement. How about this young girl getting beaten up on the street in Chicago? I don't think this would have happened had it not been for the...
By the way, this is Greg Kelly playing black violence porn for his viewers.
The overreaction, the total disintegration almost of society in the way...
The total disintegration almost.
Wake of George Floyd. And me.
In the wake of George.
On the way to work.
Yeah, Greg's dad was the top cop in New York, Matt.
I'm still personally living with the aftermath. This man, I haven't seen this too much, but when I do, it totally blows me away. Smoking marijuana on a train.
Oh my God. I'm sick of these motherfucking marijuanas on these motherfucking trains.
And that's what you do now.
That's what you do. I mean, sure the beatings, sure the knockout game, sure the shootings and stuff, but smoking weed on a train, excuse us, we're all in here.
It's kind of okay.
It's Can I just remind everyone, we're still watching the same fucking video that started out about Hunter Biden's taxes. Greg Kelly, this is corruption. We can't let it happen. Where the fuck, how do they ramble out in the fucking woods like this?
So with all this...
Say what again?
Crazy stuff, let's hope that this very courageous whistleblower can tell his story and not be hassled.
Or her story.
And not be prosecuted. He doesn't need a podcast.
Or her.
We just...
Maybe they do want one. What are you going to do? Shut him down already?
Need to hear his story, and the Bidens need to be held accountable.
Accountable for what? For what? Details! Son of a bitch. Yeah, so thanks for joining me today. It's Hal Sparks' radio program, Mega Worldwide, is on this Saturday, tomorrow. Where are we? Thursday. It's a day after tomorrow. And Philip Bittner will be joining me not only then, but tomorrow. I got ahead of myself. Hold on one second. Let's see. And then, does this button still work? I think it still works. Well, I think this would have... Hey, I think this was a damn fucking fine show today, man. We did some changes. We went through some shit. We got awful close to some fucking linguistic third rails, Some scary, sketchy shit, man. You watch the show. Oh, look at that. They got a little lower 30 thing under there. What's happening there? Get out of there. Go away. That's weird. Ain't got no logo on it. Covering up the name. That ain't even my name. I gotta fix that later. Shit. Anyways, where was I? Oh, yes. We got pretty damn close to some areas of conversation that make people a bit uncomfortable. You know what I mean? They make you give you a wart on the fanny, giving you the fidgets. You know what I mean? But here's what I want to say, if I can sign off for you, and I want you guys to have a great night and take care of yourself and take care of somebody else. And what that feller always says, if you're ever confronted with a choice that you believe is the lesser of two evils, hey man, choose less evil. I always do, especially when I'm at the bar playing darts, because I know both these women have a knife. Only one will use it. And I think that's a lesson we can all learn ourselves. But I want to say to all you fellas and folks out there, that when you try, understand, reading is difficult. Believe me, I know. But when somebody's bullshitting you right in the ear, I'm just gonna recommend that you put a little distance between yourself, because you don't want to get any on your shoulder either. So, love to y'all. Take care of yourself. I'll see you later. What fucking button do I push to make this shit happen? Hold on one second. There's a thing here. I don't know. Shit, wish me luck. I don't know. It's just gonna be all right. I just don't want to electrocute one of the fucking cats.